that the Soviet Union was there to conquer and to overtake the United States.
Another area of deep interest was UFOs. The Kremlin hoped investigating reports of alien spacecraft could advance aeronautical design. The former Soviet Union was an ideal location for the study of unidentified flying objects. Russia had more UFO sightings than any other nation. One reason for the multitude of UFO cases is that Russian borders surrounded the largest landmass in the world. Of the reported UFO sightings, the most compelling case is known as the Dalnogorsk incident.
It's the best documented crash because we do have the fragments. They have been analyzed. It was a small probe. It was not kind of a big object, but something crashed on a hill in Dalnogorsk in January of 1986.
From analysis of the crash site, this computer simulation illustrates the last moments of the doomed spacecraft. If we play the tape in slow motion, we can observe why the saucer-shaped design is so prevalent in UFO reports. Leading experts say a fixed-wing aircraft operating under the same adverse conditions would have buried its nose in the ground and burst into flames. As one can see, the saucer shape enables the space vehicle to skip and cartwheel over the field. The spacecraft was damaged, but not destroyed. From contacts with the Russian mafia, the producers obtained this exclusive, secret KGB footage. The film purportedly shows military personnel and KGB agents at the crash site of a saucer-shaped object. Leading the mission is the man wearing the fur hat. He is believed to be a senior KGB agent. It's still not certain if the Dalnogorsk incident was the crash of a UFO. But some think the KGB's mission to find and adapt alien technology to Soviet aircraft was successful.
UFOs, the paranormal, and the Project ISIS, all three were part of the Kremlin strategy of achieving military superiority.
According to Ivanovich, the goal of Project ISIS was to find a collection of advanced knowledge left by a lost civilization. Knowledge that would give the Soviet Union an invincible lead in their quest for global domination. One of the enduring legends of Egypt is that somewhere, perhaps inside the Great Pyramid or in a lost tomb, somewhere in Egypt is a chamber of knowledge containing the wisdom of gods who came from the stars. Since 820 AD, explorers have dreamed of finding the mythical Chamber of Knowledge. Sheikh Abdullah al-Mamun was the first to breach the massive stone of the Great Pyramid. The Sheikh was drawn by the legend that, concealed in the pyramid, was a record of the past and future of mankind. With tales of golden treasure, the Sheikh coaxed his terrified men through the passageways. But when the Arab explorers reached the king's chamber, they found only an empty sarcophagus. Some believe if there is a chamber of ancient wisdom, it will be found under the Great Pyramid. For years, there has been speculation about subterranean passageways running from the pyramid to the Sphinx. Recent seismic surveys suggest a mysterious chamber-like cavern lies below the Sphinx. This has led many to reconsider the legend of the Chamber of Knowledge.
Is there a storehouse of knowledge left behind by ancient visitors? Signs point to yes.
Coming up next,
It makes perfect sense. Egypt would be an obvious choice for the aliens who had to establish an outpost for planetary expeditions.
when we return right after this.
The vastness of the desert here is overwhelming. It was in this region, at the edge of civilization, that something profound may have happened over 2,000 years ago.
Egypt was the first civilization. Pharaohs ruled the kingdom for over 1,000 years. Who were these mysterious people? From where did they derive their power and wealth? Where did they find their wisdom?
The objective of this particular mission was to find the knowledge which was left behind from an advanced culture which predated this traditional Egyptian history. The team of archaeologists was composed of Egyptologists from Russian Soviet Academy of Science, which was one of the best schools of ancient cultures in the whole world. And in spite of that, the KGB leaders gave the project little chance for success.
I was one of the first to be recruited by the KGB. I don't know what was their interest in it. But anyway, you cannot say no to Комитет государственной безопасности, KGB. You got orders, you have to do it. So my recommendation was to start right there, at the Giza Plateau.
A trip to Egypt is a humbling experience. The ancient monuments still cast their long shadow upon the works of man. The Giza complex includes the Great Pyramid of Khufu. Nearby is the Pyramid of Menkaure. Still visible are some of the mortuary temples. Next in size to the Great Pyramid is the Pyramid of the Pharaoh Khafre. Many believe it was Khafre who ordered the creation of the Sphinx. Carved out of the bedrock, the colossal statue appears to be guarding secrets that lie beneath the sands. It took centuries to complete the complex of monuments on the Giza Plateau. It must have been an awesome vision. Towering pyramids, gigantic statues, temples, crypts, and causeways. Giza was a manifestation of the power of Egypt and the divinity of a living god called the Pharaoh. No monument symbolized the godlike power of the Pharaoh better than the Pyramid of Khufu. For size and engineering precision, the Great Pyramid has never been equaled. The pyramid weighs roughly 6 million tons, 20 times the weight of the Empire State Building. Until the Eiffel Tower was erected, the Great Pyramid was the tallest structure in the world. Over 2 million stones were used in its construction. No stone weighs less than a ton, and some as much as 30 tons. Inside, passageways connect the chambers. Shafts run to the exterior. Today, the pyramid is rough stone, but it once had a mirror-like finish of masonry. It is believed the Great Pyramid was adorned with a top of solid gold. The sunlight dazzled the eye for hundreds of miles. For centuries, experts have speculated on the purpose of the pyramids. Conventional theory claims The pyramids were symbolic doorways to the afterlife. Others believe the pyramid was an astronomical observatory. Some say a geographical survey instrument. One outlandish theory states the Great Pyramid was a grain elevator. But experts do agree the pyramids were far more than just gigantic tombs.
Nobody's ever found evidence of a burial in a pyramid, and we still don't know how they were built.
Scholars had argued that the technology to construct massive pyramids might not have been available to people at the point in human history when these structures were built.
The pyramid builders knew information that would not be rediscovered for centuries. For example, the pyramid's height corresponds to the distance from the Earth to the Sun. The pyramid was set within 4 degrees of the corners of the compass, a precision that has never been equaled. And amazingly, the Great Pyramid lies in the exact center of the Earth's landmass.
When I began my field research at Giza, I was immediately struck by the fact that whoever built the pyramids could determine longitude and latitude. This is amazing, since the technology to fix longitude was not invented until the 1600s. But more to the point, the pyramids were constructed at the exact center of the Earth. Also, the size, the pyramids are visible from an extremely high altitude. They can be seen from the moon. Plus, the pyramid is one of the best shapes for radar reflection. For these reasons, I advise the KGB the pyramids of Egypt were built for navigation by alien explorers.
It makes perfect sense. Egypt would be an obvious choice for the aliens who had to establish an outpost for planetary expeditions. The initial landing by an alien expedition team would pick a flat area with a few obstacles. Egypt would be an obvious choice since it's also in the center of the land, the habitable mass of the Earth.
Coming up next.
Remember, nobody knows my name.
It'll never appear on TV.
When we return right after this.
Though never adopting communism as its core political system, Egypt was for many years still firmly within the Soviet sphere of influence. A client nation, Egypt both benefited from and made concessions to its benefactor, the former USSR.
Some experts speculate the Kremlin feared the CIA would learn about the mission to Egypt. Pressed by U.S. competition in the arms and space race, Russia did not want to start a tomb race. The geopolitics of the time enabled Project ISIS to operate with complete secrecy. By the late 50s, Egypt accounted for 43% of all Soviet aid to Third World nations. When Project ISIS was initiated, Soviet military personnel in Egypt numbered over 20,000. The heavy military presence disguised the efforts of mission scientists.